Everything felt fine. I was bleeding normally. I was walking around, like everything was totally cool until about 10 hours later. So, kind of later that day in the morning, I was at the NICU with my baby, and it was just down the hall, and I started getting some really bad cramps. So, I went to the bathroom and I had some pretty big clots. And I got concerned because there's like signs everywhere saying if it's bigger than an egg, like you need to tell the doctor. So I told, or a nurse. So I told the nurse, and she came and checked me, like checked the clot. And she was like, "Oh, it's probably fine. Like, let me know if there's anything else though." Back to the NICU, and I was holding my baby, and I got the worst pain I have ever felt in my entire life. Like worse than labor pains. And I told my husband, I was like, "Can you please grab this baby? I think something's wrong." So he grabs the baby. I stand up, and I feel this gush, and so much blood, so much clots. Like, so they said you probably have some leftover placenta inside of your uterus. We're going to need to go in there. We're going to need to scrape that out, and then you should be good to go.
Hi, my name is Kayla Natalie, and I'm a certified birth doula, and I'm not going to talk about the medical aspect of what happened, but I do want to touch on one little thing that I noticed. That first nurse she told that to, and she had that first big clot, she told the nurse, and she said, "Oh, you're probably fine." That is where the nurse went wrong. Never assume that just because someone has one clot and that's it, and that it's not worse. Never assume that there are not more clots to follow. She actually died for a minute. She was resuscitated, obviously, but this is why. Imagine if she had been taken seriously that first time that she told the nurse she had a huge clot. And here's the thing. You can't just tell a patient, "Oh, you're probably fine," without an assessment. The fact that the nurse heard her say, "I have a huge clot," and didn't even say, "Okay, let's assess you." Didn't even rub on her fundus, didn't even check her bleeding. Just because a patient possibly just that one clot, just that one time, doesn't mean that we shouldn't assess a patient when they are saying that they are having clots. This was before I was a doula. I had my third baby, and about 4 days later, I had the worst contractions I have ever had. I was in the fetal position, just in so much pain for over 12 hours. That next morning, I got up and I passed a clot the size of my fist. Called my midwife's office immediately, was on the line with the nurse, and she said, "Okay, as long as there are no more clots, you're fine, you don't need to come in." Luckily, there were no more clots. But take your patients seriously. If she would have been assessed the first time, maybe this would not have happened and gotten to the point that it did.